in Maryland. He says hello. Mark, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Chris, good. Hey, before I get to baseball, let me ask you this tennis question. Who's the better threesome, Borg, McEnroe, and Connors, or Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic?
That's a good question, but Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic are better.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. So,
I think the rivalries might be a little better with the McEnroe, Connors, and Borg.
yeah.
But Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer are better tennis players than those three. Again, I am not putting any tennis player who never won Wimbledon, which Rosewall and Lendl never did. I am not putting them ahead of guys who won multiple Wimbledons as Johnny Mack and Connors did. And I am not putting anybody ahead of multiple Wimbledon winners from a guy who couldn't even get to a semifinal. And Wilander is ahead of Becker, Edberg, and Newcomb. And that's a job. No, Wilander was a nice player, won a lot of French Opens, won a U.S. eventually, but he's not an all-time great. Not in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I think he's ranked way, way too high. He's not better than Becker, Edberg, or Newcomb. You want to put him, at 15 or 16, I got no problem with it, but he's not that high. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Johnny Mack, if he could have controlled his demons a little better, he'd have been higher.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Johnny Mack was a perfectionist, and Johnny Mack did not know how to adapt when he got knocked off a little bit by Lendl. He lost touch at 25. Didn't maybe train as much. You'd have to ask him. And next time we have him on, we will. But he had 5 more years of his career he could have used. He was basically done winning majors at 25 years of age.
Yeah.
And if Mack would do it, and same with Borg. Connors, won a major when he was older. McEnroe and Borg did not. And if they could do it over again, they would have figured out a way to fix that. Go ahead.
Yeah. As far as baseball goes, on my Nats team here, what do you think about Sean Doolittle as a closer? You think he can last the whole year, or he's been injury prone?
Well, they have 2 or 3 other guys that can do it. So, they have the kid from Minnesota. If they have to use him, he can do it. They have somebody else too, right? I forget who now. But Doolittle, Kinsler, they can figure out a way to get through some big spots. Doolittle, you're right, he's been hurt a lot, but he's a lefty. I like lefty closers. There's very few of them out there. I like a lefty closer. I think a lefty closer is, you can't put that big lefty hitter up there in that 9th inning to get the matchup you want against a lefty closer. You wouldn't necessarily want to do that. I like the lefty closer myself. So we haven't seen Doolittle in a real big game where he's got to get big outs on the road, big situation. But obviously he's a guy that, has had some success. Here's Jason, and he's in Philly, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jay, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Chris. How are you?
Fine, Jason. Thank you. What's on your mind now? What do you have?
Good. Though I'm in Philly, I grew up on Long Island, been listening since I was 9 years old. You're one of the best baseball guys in the country. I want to say that. I just got to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
DeGrom should be mentioned as far as the league's elite. He went 15-10 last year in a really bad team. And I'm watching 150 games a night. Easily could have won 20 games.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. DeGrom and Syndergaard are better than any Yankee starter. The both of them.
I agree. 2015 postseason, Game 1, Dodger Stadium. 7 innings. He went 5 hits, no runs, 13 strikeouts, and that was against Kershaw.
Nice.
And then Game 5, he beat Greinke, and Greinke's consistently mentioned among these guys.
Greinke's completely overrated.
He lays an egg.
Yeah. Listen, I agree with you. DeGrom's an excellent pitcher, and that is why the Mets, and I believe they're 25-1 to win it all. That is why the Mets are a good play in Vegas. The Mets are 25-1. When you're 25-1 and you have those 2 pitchers at the top of the rotation, if you make the playoffs, those 2 pitchers might be able to pitch you to a title. It's not impossible. That's out of the odds that I have seen for the titles. That's by far the best one. I think they're 25-1. Maybe it varies, but the Angels are 15-1. Who do you think's got a better chance to win a championship, the Mets or the Angels? Angels might have a better team, but they don't have the pitching. The Mets have those 2 guys at the top of the rotation that, if healthy, we understand that, if healthy, will make about 60 starts and will win combined about, 35, 36 games? Both win about 17, 18? Not in front of the hour. We continue on Mad Dog Unleashed.